last year I had first grade, and then our principal decided that she liked the looping, so I went back to kindergarten, and will more than likely loop up with the students again next year. So, Shannon, want to go to the next slide? We are going to go ahead and also we have two other trainers with us today. So we're going to start by having Shannon and Christy, if you could introduce yourself as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Eustace. I'm on the island of Maui. I am a 6th grade science teacher, and I'm at Iao Middle School.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christy Miamai. I teach 7th grade at Mililani Middle. Excited to have this class starting with so many people.
Okay, so again, welcome. We'd also like to get to know who's here with us tonight. So we're going to do something called a waterfall chat. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but when I say go, I'm going to ask you to write your name, school, your grade, or content area in the chat, and then we'll take a look and see who's with us tonight. So, ready? Go. So we have Jamie, 7th grade math, middle school, Amanda, 9 to 12, Kalani, chorus. Interesting. Hey, Annalisa, Barbara's Point, 4th grade, Jessica, 2nd grade, Ashley, Waimea Canyon, 8th grade, Malay Wilcox, kindergarten also, Michelle, 3rd grade teacher, Kuluela, we have Danny, high school, 9th and 11th, Courtney, 4th grade, Kaala, Alyssa, 1st grade, Alice, 2nd grade. Yeah, so we have a lot of elementary. It's a good mixture, actually. We have some middle and also high. We have a Hawaii version there, Puale. Jennifer, grade 5 sped teacher. Mr. M is Ryan. Okay, from Maui. ELA, Bethany, grade. Kahuku High, Kauluwela is our lead. Iana Waihe'e, 1st grade teacher. Joni Ililani Waina, 5th grade. Katie, school counselor. Ashley, 7th, 8th math sped. Cassie at Iliahi. Laurel at Kalaheo, woodshop teacher. Graciela, Haiku Elementary, 5th grade. Heather, 3rd grade, and Melinda, 7th grade sped teacher. Great, we're so excited. That's the one neat thing with the online course is that you can have teachers from all around the state joining us, which is wonderful. It's not only limited to Oahu or a certain island, but more people can join us on the meeting. So great. So welcome again, everybody. We're glad to have you here. As we go through the slides, so the next slide, please, Shannon.
Yes, Jackie, if I can just say, so nice to see so many familiar names and some faces too out there from the Making Ethical Decisions course. So thanks for joining over here. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this class.
Nice, Shannon. That's your course, right? Yeah, so great to see you. All right, so on the next slide, we have something that says attendance matters all day, every day. And basically what we're saying there is we found that through the course, the more that you are able to participate and attend and join in on the sessions, we find that teachers will get a lot more out of the sessions than just watching the video. So what we're doing, and we forgot to mention that, is we are recording the sessions. So the session is being recorded and it will be uploaded after the class is done for those who are not able to attend, or if you missed something during the session, you can always go back to the recording and review what was there. So again, I know earlier we asked about you signing up for 4 of the 5 courses, and it's really important. If you want to sign up for all 5, that is great. Please do so. But yes, definitely the more that you attend, interact with other educators, the more that you can get out of the class. All right. Shannon, next. And that's you.
Okay, so this class is designed to be live sessions and online work. So like Jackie was saying, the more you participate in the class, we feel that the more you're going to get out of it. We originally started this class, it's been around for many, many years, and it was originally an in-person learning opportunity, and it was wonderful. And so us as facilitators, once COVID hit and we were making the shift with this class from online, from in person to online, we really had to think like, how are we going to preserve the awesomeness of in-person learning that was with this class with an online format? And so we've, you know, kind of morphed it over to here, and the more participation you guys can have, I think the more you're going to take away from it. So this is what our asynchronous live session norms will be like, and we'll review them at the beginning, kind of like we do in our faculty meetings, you know, or our different PLC meetings. Everybody wants to have, we want quality, equity of voice, active listening, perspective taking, safety and confidentiality. So, and respectful use of electronics. We get it. Everybody has got busy lives. And so if you could just be respectful, if, you know, if you have to step away, go ahead, turn your camera off, whatever. If you've got to take a phone call, we totally get that. And then make sure we're going to do a lot of discussion about your experience in the classroom and things you're going to try in the classroom, and just be sure to keep your students' confidentiality in there too. So I don't know, you guys can take a moment, kind of peruse over that. It's always great to make connections with others' thoughts and ideas, things you agree with. And I really like the ones too, where it's kind of like, that's interesting. I haven't thought about that. Or, you know, even sharing examples too of when you've tried something and it didn't work for you. Okay. Anybody need any more time to read all the words on that one after a long day? No, I'm sorry. All right, everybody get the gist? Okay. All right. So we're going to do this inclusionary activity, and it's called a mood meter. And you, there's 4 different corners here. So high energy is on the top, whether you're angry or happy, high energy. Pleasant is on the right, unpleasant on the left. How's your energy feeling? So I am going to place a link for you guys for a Jamboard in the chat. And you guys are going to tell us how you feel and where you guys are at on the moodometer. So there you will find the link. Share over here. And so what you'll do is, so you'll take a Post-it. Are you guys, if anybody's familiar with Jamboard or not familiar with it, you go ahead and can you guys see my screen? No, it's not presenting this one. Okay, my apologies. Okay, but you got the link to the Jamboard, right? Okay, cool. Okay, there we go. So you click in your Jamboard, and then you click a sticky note, and then sticky note will pop up, and I always have to make everything pink. And then you can put your name, like Joni's got it, put your name and how you're feeling. And then where'd it go? There we are. Sorry, Danny. And then sometimes I'm like kind of here. And then put where you're at. I think maybe we should, next time we should adjust this so everybody doesn't start at the
Shannon, is it okay if I just interrupt as they're doing this? Just so you
Please
guys,
go ahead.
yeah, as you guys waterfalled your name and your grade, we're keeping kind of track of that because you'll be doing certain activities and groups. So I already took attendance for all of you. As long as you put your name in the chat, you're good to go.
So if anybody has yet to put their name in the chat, please go ahead and do so. Okay. Nice. Good. Got some nice feelings here. Everybody's kind of more on the borderline of the good to be where good where I'm at. Is that what I'm trying to say? So, okay. All right, let me switch my screens. All right, so this course, what is required out of you in terms of your online and your live commitment? So we are going to require that you attend 4 live sessions, 4 of the live learning sessions. There will need to be a meaningful portfolio that needs to be completed, and you will have to do your captions for this course. We also encourage and require real-time participation. There will be couple times where you have to do some offline collaboration. And then lastly, your online evaluation through PDE3. So what's encouraged? Review the recorded sessions. One of the things we're changing up is we are putting some sessions back to back. This way it allowed us to give you guys longer time to complete the portfolio. So typically we were doing just 1 module a day, but I think on some days we're going to be doing 2 or 3 modules. The complete and turn in, you have to complete the assignments. That should be on the required one. But them turning them in by the due date, that is highly encouraged. We have set all the due dates for 10 days to 2 weeks after they're assigned. That way it kind of builds some time in for you, and it'll build some time in for us to give you feedback, because your reflections, your entries here are going to be a little more they're going to be in depth. You're going to be reflecting on your practice. You're going to be reflecting on your philosophy, and you're going to be implementing changes to your classroom and reflecting on those changes and how it affects the student learning. Okay. And then we don't require you to turn your camera or your mic on, but it is highly encouraged. You will we feel that you'll benefit more from being an active participant. Okay. Jackie? Okay, so
sorry, Shannon.
Okay.
Got it. So we have some additional resources that might be helpful. And again, the slides will be available to you so that should you miss something or need to go back to reference something, you will have them here. We have just some things that were listed about the meeting norms. There's live session norms linked there. meaningful reflections. There's a guide to what meaningful reflections should look like. Captions. That is something we're going to talk about quite a bit in the course, only because it's such an important component to your portfolios. But should you go along and think, oh, how should these captions be done? There is a link to some examples of captions. There's the link to the classroom, the meeting link, and then some strategies and techniques. We're going to talk a lot about something called Did You Knows? Did you know? Did you know? And the reference to that will be right on that link there. So this page is pretty important. It's kind of a one-pager with a lot of links to things that may be helpful for you throughout the course. Okay, Shannon? All right, so grading. We do have, like Shannon mentioned, the portfolio due dates, which are pretty much soft dates. Sorry, I should turn on my camera. I didn't realize it was off. But what's important to know is that we try to break up each module into a portfolio entry. So when you turn it in, we'll have a chance to review it. And if everything looks good for that particular module that you've turned in, we'll give you 100 points for your grade. If you see anything less than that, such as 50 points, then it's kind of a red flag to go back to that module because something needs to be revised. So if you do not see, or if you do not receive the full credit or any 100 points for the assignment or the module, then there's something that needs to be corrected. And so we will usually put a comment in right directly into your portfolio so you'll know exactly what needs to be fixed. And one of the things we ask is that you don't remove the comments because it kind of helps us to know what correction needed to be made and if you've made the correction. We will be the one to remove the comments. So please, again, do not delete the comments. Just make the corrections to your assignment. Resubmit it to us when you've done making the corrections, and then that will be our sign that, okay, we can look at the assignment again because it's been revised. All right, so once you see that 100 points, please know that you don't have to resubmit it to us or make any further changes to the assignment, and that it's really good to go already for that particular module. Okay, so 100 points is what you're looking for. You don't have it, anything less, remember that there's something you need to do to revise your entry. One note is that on some of the modules, particularly module 1, which is my module on philosophy of education, we do that particular module in pieces. So you'll see that on day 1, there's 3 parts that need to be done, but the last part, part 4, won't come until the end of the course. So you will not see 100 points right off the bat because we'll just give you the grade for the parts that you've completed thus far. But you should see the 100 points at the end of the course once you've completed part 4. Part 4 is not something you can just jump to and start doing right now because it's kind of like a reflection that's done towards the end of the course. Now that you've gone through the course, you've gone through the activities and lessons and assignments, has your philosophy changed? So again, don't be alarmed if you don't see 100 points on module 1. It's only because there are 4 parts to it. All right. Any questions, feel free to just stop us, or we'll always be online after as well to answer any questions you might have. All right, Shannon. Okay. Sorry, is that my Shannon? I don't have my other slide open.
It is, but all this one is just kind of reiterates everything we've already talked about. So complete your entries in each module of Google Classroom. Turn in the portfolio, turn in the module when it's ready to go. And then, like we said, got it?
Yeah. Got it. So the last one is the one we're going to really talk about. And that is that we do this course a little bit different from some of the courses you may have done in the past if you've taken others. You'll notice that your portfolio comes submitted to you as entries. So when we do part 1 or entry or module 1, you'll see that comes to you as just that particular piece of the portfolio. So what you need to do is just complete that part, and we're correcting it or looking at it as the course goes along. At the end, when PDE3 selects we'll probably have 3 students or 3 portfolios selected. We as trainers will go ahead and put your portfolio together for you. We'll take all the entries you've completed, compile it into one finished portfolio, and submit that to PDE3. So don't worry about that part. There is one piece that you will need to do, which is kind of a cover page and some agreements on there. But everything else, we as trainers will take each piece that you've done, put it together for you, and submit that completed portfolio to PDE3. So again, don't worry about wondering where's that whole portfolio, because we will put it together if it is selected for PDE3. All right. Okay, I got that now. Thank you. All right. You do you. You do you. We want to just get a temperature check on whether you feel you need a break right now, or are you okay with just plowing on? This session is just roughly about an hour, and it's really kind of up to you how you're feeling now. If you feel we need to take a break, go ahead and type it in the chat if you want to stop and take a 5-10 minute break, or just keep moving.
All right, it looks like we're gonna just keep going. So let me
Yep.
take over from here.
Thank you, Christy.
Okay. So just so you know, well, we wanted to just talk a little bit about how this course kind of came to be. If what's funny is I can tell you too that I think I took this course. I've been teaching for about 20 years, and I think I took it about that long ago. So you can tell this course has really stood the test of time. And the nice thing about it again is that when this course was devised, it was because of DOE, HSTA, our union, and NEA, our big parent union, coming together and saying, hey, you know what? We know that there's a need for professional development. The nice thing about this course is that anybody can take it, any grade can take it, even if you're counselors, a non-classroom teacher. A lot of these things are going to be pretty relevant to you. It's nice because it is about content knowledge that you can always grow and use this in your professional development, especially if you're up for EES. There's a lot of things in here that you're going to be able to really tap into and show that you're doing some really great things in your classroom. We always talk about Charlotte Danielson because, you know, again, that's kind of that framework that we look to become that great teacher that we strive to be. It definitely supports and aligns with that. And it specifically, it's going to help you to participate. A lot of this class is really all about community development in terms of your relationships, because you guys are really the ones who are going to be leading this class. You're going to be doing a lot of the work and the reflections based on what you share with each other. So we kind of give you the intro to it, and then we kind of let you just go, talk about it, discuss it, and reflect on that. Take it back to your classrooms and really just incorporate all these great things that you guys are learning from each other. So that's kind of the neat part about this class, is that it really changes every time we teach it. So that's what's really nice. I know Shannon and Jackie, they always say the same thing too at the end, and we always say, wow, you know, every time we teach this, there's always something that we also gain as like those lifelong learners. So it's really fun teaching this course. So if we can go on to the next slide. So we know that a lot of you guys, beginning teachers, you know, veteran teachers, we all know that classroom management is about something about, you know, making sure your students are doing well in that classroom, and you got that all going on. So we're going to do a what you know and what you want to know, because obviously you're taking this class, hopefully not just for the credits, but to get something out of it. So if we can, we have a KWL Jamboard, and you're going to see that a lot of the things that we do, you're going to see it's a lot of strategies that we try to throw at your way as well. I know this one is well known, but if you can, we're going to put that link in the, let's see. Shannon, can you put that link for the Jamboard? Perfect. Now, if you can go there, what we want you to do is just take that post-it like you did earlier. Tell us what you know and what you want to know. And I think we put, let's see. Did we have 2 slides on this? If you look at that upper top, there's a little classroom in there. I guess we took off the titles, but that's okay. You can actually just put, if you can just type K and then put a dash and then tell us what you know about classroom management and put it maybe on that first slide. And then on that second slide, on that upper right in the middle, you're going to see a picture of a whiteboard and some 4 desks in the front. If you can put what you want to know on that second slide, that would be awesome. Okay. So again, grab that sticky note from that left-hand side. Oh, thanks, Shannon. She's titling it for us. So as you guys are thinking about your ideas, you can see that with these Jamboards, it's kind of nice because it gives students who maybe aren't too sure about things a nice safe place to put their responses. Even if it's, wrong, it's okay. They're just putting whatever they think, and then from there you can always, separate them out, have little discussions. You can have ways to like group them together. So this is a nice safe environment if you can, see for students to just participate. And then sometimes if they're really not sure, you might find that, some maybe might not put a post-it up there this time, but as they start getting more comfortable, they're going to hopefully start participating. And I'm just kind of moving these around too, just trying to group them a little bit. Wow, I love what you guys are writing. And then Jackie, I don't know if you and Shannon maybe can kind of help me out with the want to know and see if we can kind of group those a little.
Sure. Let me just get to that
Okay.
real quick.
So what you want to know, as I'm looking at that first slide, Shannon, can I have you go to that first slide if that's okay? Thanks. So I tried to group it. Now what you guys, I mean, all of these comments are terrific. A lot of you mentioned successful classrooms means that's the key, having classroom management, consistency, having those strategies that work. That's definitely true. Sometimes we have to make changes, and that's okay. You just have to be flexible with that. I think every teacher knows that every day is not going to be the same. So definitely that's so true. Having those positive reinforcements, definitely to give those students that safe place, definitely. Involving different parties. Somebody mentioned parents should know about it too. Yes, having that consistency at home, terrific. Here again, this whole thing, a lot of people mentioned consistency, ritual, routines. Yes, that way students know, sorry, what to expect, definitely. Somebody said it's not easy. Wow, yes, that you hit that on the money. Yes, classroom, classroom management. Again, you're always evolving to make things better. If you're not, definitely, every student's not the same. So yes, love that. Classroom management does not mean you have to be the mean teacher. Yes, and another person agreed. They said, got to give respect to get respect. Yes, positivity here. Personal success is also student success. Yes, love it. Thank you. Family engagement, again, yes, involving everybody, getting everybody involved. Yeah, nice job. And then the want to know. So in here, and I think Jackie's going to be addressing a little bit more of this later on, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Jackie? Or do you want me to go through this now? I can't remember.
No, I do have a slide later towards the end, some of the goals of the class, so it's okay if you don't.
Perfect. Okay. And then later on, Jackie's going to give a nice overview about all the areas that we're going to be covering. So I think that might be a good time for her to go over this slide and to link it to what you guys want to know and how we're going to address some of these things that you have in here. Okay. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So we'll revisit this. Don't worry. So again, I'm sure you guys have a lot of different KWL charts that you've used. Well, we've kind of put some in here too. This one might be used for a little one, maybe the younger ones, just a sample. You guys can put the typing in, or you can have, do the writing for them. And I think the next one is just another example, maybe for older students. You can even send it out as a slide, have them put things in and type it in, and have them do that as well. Okay. And the did you know, Shannon.
Okay, so the did you knows, I'm going to back us up a moment, is it in our resource. So there is in your resources, in your Google Classroom, there should be a file that says the did you know. Did we include that, Christy?
No, but I'm going to put it in right now.
Okay, thank you. So there will be a file with the did you knows, and it'll cover, I think, almost like all 20 something of the did you knows we will review in the class. And it'll be a resource that you can just type in and make some notes for yourself as we go through some of these. So we have already covered a couple did you knows, and could I get a couple volunteers, one to read bell work and one to read the know and want to know?
I'll read.
Thank you.
Bell work is a term for an immediate assignment upon entering a classroom. It is designed to focus students on the subject of the class and avoid distracting behaviors. Bell work should be meaningful for students and can be used to review or preview information. Bell work helps you to set the scene for learning for the day. Please expect that you will have bell work each time to arrive to class.
Thanks so much for reading, Jennifer. I greatly appreciate it. So how about DYK number 2?
I can do it.
Thanks, Heather.
KW, know and want to know is a strategy that helps to motivate interest in the content. The strategy allows the teacher to be aware of what the class already knows and what interests them, which might help in planning instruction.
Great, thank you. So I noticed on the Jamboards, many people asked for strategies. So these, did you know, these are just little strategy tools that you can carry with you into your classroom and apply them through different situations. And we did have a little bell work today, and that was our little introduction of our waterfall. Not traditional bell work, that where you came in, that's what you got started doing, but it was still at our beginning there. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is where we're going to talk about the goals of the course that support a positive learning environment. So these are really, wait one second, let me just get my screen back up. This is just really some of the classroom management concepts that experienced teachers as well as novice teachers found really helpful to know. So in the course, some of the goals are to learn effective strategies, instructional strategies and techniques. As I look back at the want to knows, that's one thing that I saw that came up frequently: strategies, strategies, strategies. You will definitely get a lot of it. As Christy mentioned earlier, we took note of your grade levels and subject areas, and at times we're going to try to group you accordingly. We found that when we place you with similar grade levels or content area, teachers find it very, I guess, relevant, right? And then you start picking up a lot of information. You can ask each other questions and each other understands, like, oh, I got that because that happens to me too. But through those conversations, you will definitely pick up a lot of instructional strategies and techniques. We'll also be looking at rules. Rules and routines are very important. I noticed there really wasn't much mention of the want to knows without rules or routines, but it is very critical in having effective classroom management. Developing a supportive classroom community of learners. Through the strategies, we definitely do learn those pieces. And through developing that supportive classroom, hopefully some of the difficult students will not be so prevalent in the classroom. We know they do exist. It's not like you'll never have any difficult students, but it's what can you do when there are difficult students in the class, and how do we address it, or how do we provide that right environment so that it is supportive for them and hopefully minimize some of the disruptive behaviors. One of the things I will say is that in the past, the course has changed slightly. One of the modules that is no longer there that we used to have is something on problem-solving challenging behaviors. As we worked on the course and aligned it better with the DOE, we found that that was one piece we could almost do another course on, a whole nother new course on, because it's one module in itself that could be extended over a period of time. However, we've never really gotten to that point of developing that course. And it's something that we're going to probably eventually look at too, whether that piece can somehow be brought back in again, because I know that difficulty behavior is something that was brought up a lot on the want to knows, and it is important. With the strategies that we do provide and we do share, hopefully that will minimize some of the difficult behaviors that you see. Okay, Shannon? All right, so also acquiring techniques for use of instructional time, effective use of instructional time, as well as looking at how your classroom is arranged is another really important component to having an effective classroom management. And identifying communication styles, or what's also known as learning styles, is one that's really enjoyable because it helps us to really see also how we teach and how that impacts our students in our classrooms. Also, there's going to be some research in there that is part of the modules that you'll be having. And there's time where you're going to be reading some of them and reflecting on implications. What we do want to point out, which is something that's brought up on occasion, is that, well, the articles are so dated. They're like so many years old. But what we found is it's not necessarily how old that particular research is, that the information is still so relevant and it still applies to today. So if you do see something that seems like it's dated 30 years ago, 20 years ago, what we found is truly the information is still applicable to our teaching environment today. So those are some of the goals for the course that we'll be going over in the next 5 sessions that we have, or 5 live sessions. All right, Shannon.
Okay, so our modules, as Jackie and Christy talked about, there are 9 modules, including your final reflection. We will begin with the philosophy of education, move on to community of learners, creating a classroom community, go over rules, consequences, and rewards, classroom procedures, how your classroom is organized, sponge activities and bell work, communication style, and then homeschool communication. And then finally, our final reflection. And the dates for each of these was on that email that was sent out. So you'll see that our next session will be this Saturday, and it will be run from 9 to 2 with a 30-minute lunch. And in that session, we will cover 3 modules. On our Wednesday sessions, we will only have 1 module in there, and that's to limit it to about an hour, because we know that we've all put in a hard day of teaching and being with our kiddos, and Wednesdays we usually have our faculty meetings and all sorts of other stuff, and we just wanted to be respectful of everybody's time and time that they need for their self-care too. So yes, so you can see the dates there, and we've asked that you attend 4 of them. So hopefully the Saturday sessions will get some love too. And again, the more you can contribute to these, I think the greater your takeaway will be, because it really is about the participation. On November 1st, your portfolio is due to us. At that point, we spend the next couple of weeks reviewing everything and making sure that it is ready to be sent off to PDE3. We then will be in communication with you if any revisions need to be made. Hopefully all those revisions will have been made throughout, because that's where our whole grading system is kind of that check and balance. So we have, if you don't have that 100 points on an assignment, aside from module 1, you don't have that 100 points on an assignment, revisions need to be made. So hopefully those revisions are being made as they get returned back to you. And then it's not just kind of a cramming to just get everything done at the end. So we turn in the portfolios on November 27th. And then I think the official course end date is, I think, Christmas Eve, December 24th, I believe. Okay. Okay, so Jackie, before we go, were there any questions about any of the dates or the time commitments expected?
Can I just make a comment on the October 6th one, Shannon?
Please.
Yeah, so that one is obviously during spring break. It is a check-in, meaning it's optional. So if you have questions, you're working on your portfolio, you want to ask us things, please feel free to pop in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and we'll be there to support you. But again, if everything's going along fine, you have no questions, no need of support, you don't need to come to that one.
And we are extremely flexible. We know that life happens, and we know that everyone, you guys as educators, are incredibly busy. Please, 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 if stuff comes up, please communicate with us. And we will do our best to support you in helping you through whatever has come up. Okay. Christy will also post the dates in Google Classroom. You can expect that the night before, the morning before, the day before a meeting session, we will send out a reminder with the meeting link, and we will also send out, I think, the assignments and the slides so you guys can have a preview of what's coming up as well. Okie dokie. Okay, Jackie, thank you.
I have a quick question,
All right.
Shannon. You know how you
Yes,
said we
Laurel.
had to attend 4 live sessions? On the sign-in sheet, it has like Saturday is just one day, but then you're putting X's on like multiple modules on Saturday. So if you attend Saturday, are you expected to do, you can choose which module you want to do, so you don't have to do the entire 9 to 2 session? And does that count as more than one live session? Does that make sense, that question?
It does make sense, and I don't know if I want to put that answer in writing.
You can just verbally say it. Well, because the way the sign-in sheet
Remember,
looks,
we're being recorded. So.
there's like multiple X's
Yeah.
in one day, which makes me think that that's more than one session. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
I'm going to lean towards no, because this is the first time we're doing it this way, and we're not putting out there that module 2 begins at 10:30. So
But a Saturday session has multiple modules, correct?
yes, and
And
that's Saturday sessions have multiple modules. That's where the flexibility is going to come in. If you if you are, I can only stay till 12 o'clock on Saturday, there's going to be flexibility there. I don't think we're going to, and Jackie and Christy, please speak in if I'm speaking out of turn. I'm pretty sure we're not going to say, Laurel, you didn't meet the requirement. We're not going to travel down that path. We know that life happens. There's actually teachers on sabbatical right now. There's teachers out of the country. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So we definitely are supportive. We are definitely flexible. We want you to walk away with the best experience possible. We know from our experience that when participation is not high, the entries are not as strong as they could be. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, no, totally. I just wanted to make sure I was reading it correctly. So like a Wednesday night 1 hour session counts as one live session, and then a Saturday 9 to 2 counts as another one live session.
Christy, would you agree with that? Because I know you were working on this spreadsheet.
Yeah, and I think the main thing again is that because you're going to be you're doing a lot of discussions in this course, that's where it's going to be kind of important that you attend the modules, because you're going to be reflecting on a lot of the feedback that you get from the group or from a one-on-one that you have with somebody. So a lot of that is built in. So the thing is if you don't attend the live sessions, we'll try to partner you up, but there's going to be times too that you're going to have to do it on your own. So it gets kind of tricky that way, and it will be more difficult. So just so you know, up front, that's kind
then
of
I think I need to sign up for more live sessions, because I signed up for 3 or 4 on one Saturday thinking that
okay, yeah, it would be a great idea if you could
fulfilled the requirement of the 4 live sessions. Does that make sense? I guess
it makes complete sense. And this is our first time we've grouped together modules on a Saturday. So that's definitely a learning experience for us to be more specific. And Christy and I were actually talking about that earlier this afternoon, of what does that look like? Do we give people the opportunity to attend chunks and different chunks of the live session? Because before it was 9 modules and you had to attend like 6 of them, right? So we were trying to look at that percentage and translate it over. Yes, attend more live sessions. I can tell you one of my sessions I do, if you participate in the session, that is your portfolio entry. I mean, it's automatic. It is set up so that our portfolio entry is our session. So yeah, the more you can attend, I think the stronger your portfolios will be. And yeah, but again, Laurel, we understand if a Saturday morning, I know there's a lot of second jobs out there. If a Saturday morning you can't get on till 10:30, that works too, right? Just we get the flexibility. Just communicate with us.
And then if we decide at the last minute, like, oh, I want to attend this session, like, can we just hop on, or do we need
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
You are always welcome. This is just for us to kind of gauge, because we don't want a session to happen where we only have 3 participants, right? That makes the conversation pretty boring then. So the more the merrier. So that's where we try and just keep an eye out to make sure it's balanced, basically, so that we have enough participants in it.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it allows us to do our pre-work with putting you in your breakout rooms and grouping you guys by your grade level. But okay, any other questions? I hope I made that as clear as mud for everybody on that one. Okay, good.
Okay, so for the next time, we're kind of winding down, but one of the assignments we have for this coming Saturday course or Saturday session is our philosophy of education. So in the Google Classroom, you should have already received that particular assignment, which is completing a philosophy of education statement. And we get a little bit more information about what that philosophy looks like. So if you think about a philosophy of education, it's really your core beliefs. What do you believe about teaching and learning? What do you believe about how students learn? How students' learning and potential effectively maximize, perhaps by what you do, how you set up the classroom. What is your core belief about the role of educators in the classroom? And what do you believe is true about education? So we put those particular bullets. It doesn't mean you have to answer each one. If you can think about those questions as you create or write your philosophy, those might be helpful. We know that many of you, especially if you recently went through college, it is something most times you do in university level, and you might still have your philosophy. It's a good time to look at it, review it, see if it still holds true to what you have written before. Feel free to bring that. We want just to make sure that you put some thought in it. It shouldn't be just a couple paragraphs, but really think about what are your core beliefs. We're going to use that in the next session to get some feedback from our colleagues in the class, as well as to complete part of your Module 1 entry. Just some tips on that philosophy. You should, or what is helpful to do, is to really have those statements with, I believe, da, 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 da. I believe that, then we know you really thought about that question and you've got that core belief mentioned and stated. And some of the entries we've seen in the past is that statement started their paragraph almost every time. So they listed maybe 4, 5, 6 of their core beliefs. And every time they wrote it in that paragraph, they said, I believe all students, and whatever their philosophy was. So again, very important for us to see that, so we know that it's tied back to your beliefs about philosophy, your philosophy of education. So again, it's not something you're going to just Google and say, oh, I read this somewhere, so I'm just going to type it in like a report. But it really should be something that you truly believe as well. So not just something taken off as this, oh, this sounds good, but really, do you believe in it, and what shows or what do you do that really backs it up? Okay, next slide, Shannon. Really, your philosophy crafts your teaching. So what you find is when you write your philosophy out, the things you do there is things you already do. So it's easy to back it up with some examples of what you currently do in your classroom that shows you truly believe that particular philosophy. All right, next, Shannon. Okay, sorry. So again, you do have that link to the portfolio entry. Go ahead and take some time to work on it. You'll be needing it again for Saturday. We know it's a pretty quick turnaround, but don't get stressed over it. Start putting down your ideas, get something pretty well written by then. You'll see that when we do pair you up that day, you may get some additional ideas from your partner as you read over their philosophy as well. But again, you'll be bringing that entry to Saturday's class. You'll be reading it. Your colleague will be reading it, giving you some feedback, and then you'll be reflecting on the feedback that they give. If you don't happen to attend that class, then this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because then we're going to have to try to pair you up with someone else who maybe didn't attend as well. And then you're going to try to find a way to get connected and complete the assignment together. So this is definitely one where you'll need to have a partner to review it. So again, complete the philosophy. You don't need to do anything else until the class, until the Saturday class. All right, so if you want more information, there is on that link in your portfolio about what that philosophy should look like, and a little bit more details to help you write it if you don't have anything currently to bring. So as Shannon mentioned, this is our contact information. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to email us, contact us. We're there to support you, really, to successfully complete the course. But it's important that you keep in touch with us so that we know, like, if we haven't seen you for a while, that something's gone up or coming up, that you please let us know, reach out to us, ask us questions. This is our contact information. Okay, any questions? This pretty much winds up our overview. We know that was a lot of information, but again, the slides will be available for you should you need to reference that in a future date.
I would like to try and, there's been some couple comments. I want to try and bring over the Google Classroom.
Okay.
Because there was, there was also a question about the attendance. Just do your best to, Christy or Jackie, you want to go ahead and address some of those attendance questions?
I just need time to look at it, so hold on.
So while they're reviewing that, okay, so here's our Google Classroom. I moved the portfolio assignment up to the top. Click on your portfolio. Everybody should have a copy. I see many of you already have turned it in. When you open it up, you are going to fill in the front page. You are going to put your name, your DOE email, and the school you are at. Then you are going, don't worry about anything else. It's just set up so if your portfolio is selected, we can pop stuff in right away. You have resources here in your portfolio. It's a portfolio checklist. It's how to write a caption and then how to make hyperlinks. You don't have to worry about the hyperlinks. You are then going to come down here and sign on this. You click edit and it will open you up to a drawing, and you can type your name, make a text box and type your name. Change the font to whatever you would like, if cursive, whatever. Okay. I think you can also use a writing tool on there, but you just sign that and then date it. And that's all you need to do for your portfolio. Click turn in and we will take care of the rest. If you scroll down within the portfolio, there is the portfolio assessment rubric. This is what we use when we grade your portfolio, when we grade your entries. Okay. So it's there for you. Back to the Google Classroom. Module 1. I'm going to leave it right where it is. So there's the live session sign up and then Jackie's module 1. So when you open it, everyone will have their own copy. And this is what Jackie is asking you to bring to Saturday's class. And if you're not able to attend Saturday's class, then you will be partnered up with somebody who also wasn't able to attend Saturday's class, and you will complete the next section, the part 2. You'll probably need to, good to know, Joni. I will check on that for you, okay? Ashley, so we'll address all the questions in the chat box in a second.
Yes.
So then this is what we will be doing on Saturday with your completed philosophy of education. And then Friday morning, excuse me, I think that the slides will post since you already have the activity. I think that's all for oh, no, excuse me. Somebody did ask if there was a central location. Yes, there's a central location. So you can come over to classwork and there is an overview. Overview is our central spot. So overview is where our supplemental resources are, guide to meaningful reflections, and your captions. Our Google Meet link is also right there. So the Did You Knows is there. So the overview is kind of like, is our housekeeping folder for you guys, okay? So I think that helps with that. Okay, other questions?
I know that Serena had that question about unclear about the attendance. Serena, are you still unclear about the 4? So it's actually 4 out of 5 sessions versus 4 out of 9 modules. But do you still have questions on that? Serena?
She said she's got it.
Oh,
said
okay,
thanks.
sorry, Quincy. All right,
okay.
and then Laurel had a question about unable to attend if you'll be behind. It's just that we'll be pairing you up for a Saturday session if you're not able to come for the philosophy. So I'm not sure what you mean by behind.
I just meant for this Saturday session because someone said like it gets a little tricky if you can't attend the first Saturday session because then we're gonna have to pair you up, and so
yeah,
that was one of the sessions I wasn't able to come to. I mean, I can try to come to part of it.
Yeah,
so,
no, you won't be behind because we will pair you up. It's just a little bit more trickier because then you'll have to get in touch with that person and make contact.
So when you say pair us up, when does that happen? Like because after this, everyone's coming to all kind random sessions, right?
Right. So there's some sessions where we have partner works done where your partner has to give you feedback on particular things. And in that sense, that's when we need to pair you up after the session is done so we can see who attended and who did not. And that's what we really mean by that.
So you'll pair us up at the next session that we both happen to attend?
When the class is done, yeah. We'll look at the attendance sheet and see who else didn't attend. And then we'll send you an email or some kind of notification, maybe it'll be in Google Classroom, that you are partnered up with this person and you need to complete this particular assignment.
Who did attend?
No. Jackie, may I try?
Sure.
So Laurel, so the part 2 of module 1 is what we are going to be doing on Saturday. For those who attend, are going to be partnered up with one person, right? They're going to have a direct partner they're going to do the activity with. For those who do not attend, they're going to be partnered up with somebody else who was not here. They need to complete that activity outside of a live session time.
Okay. Got it. I thought it was a partner who knew what was going on because they attended the session.
Nope, you're both going to not know what's going on. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Ashley had a question about the, let's see, the modules not being posted until the day. Usually we try to post it the day before so that you have the information. It's generally not posted much sooner than that. So yeah, it's generally not available until usually like the day before or so.
We post it to it. I think most of us have it scheduled to auto post the morning before.
Mhm.
And so there's really not a lot to do beforehand because we're doing so much of it during the session. We're giving you the tools to have a successful entry
Mhm.
during that session.
And then Jennifer mentioned she's not going to be at the Saturday, so there's a good chance that maybe you and Laurel might be paired up for that day, but we'll confirm it after our class is done on Saturday. Okay,
So
Heather
basically,
wants
the
to
more
know.
sessions you attend, the easier it is to complete your portfolio
Yes,
because you're doing the work
definitely.
in the sessions
Mhm.
with a partner.
Yes, yes. Not all of them
Got it.
have partner work, but for the most part, yes. And then if you don't attend a session, you need to go back and review the recording. That's really important for you to successfully complete your portfolio as well. Heather, can you let us know which sessions are most essential for in-person attendance?
All of them.
Okay. And then Tia is taking the course with colleagues. Can we be partnered up? We are asking that, if up with each other if we are not attending. We'd ask you not to because we may partner you up with somebody else. So we'll just ask you to hang tight if you're not going to be attending a session and just wait until the course is done to see who your partner will be, if at all possible.
Yeah,
Right.
and there's not a lot of partner work, I think, with what we traditionally think as a partner, right? So when we say like there's group activities or there's partner work, yes, there's a couple sections where there is a true partnership and you review each other's work and give each other feedback. But a lot of times we do like round robin is coming to my brain, or like the pair share that we all do in the classroom, right? It's not like always designated, this is your partner every single time. We're going to mix you guys up all sorts of ways. We're going to do you by your grade level. We're going to do you by your put you together by your subject. We're going to put you together randomly just so you can have conversations with everybody. Okay. So, and it's not like there's always going to be a written thing after all the group works. Just for this Saturday is one of the big ones that there is. But the others, it's just a lot of discussion. So don't worry so much about partner work.
Okay, if no other questions,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Do any of you Google Classroom experts out there know how I add an attachment to those who, like Joni? You did not receive it, Joni. Do you know how I add an attachment to Joni's? Anyone know? Okay, I'll figure it out.
Oh, you're asking that. I thought you were going to tell us how you.
No,
Okay,
I don't know how to do it. Because see, like
right.
Joni's not here.
So what you could do is you could go, would you mind just clicking on Joni's? I need a reminder. Otherwise there might be a convoluted way, but you'll still be able to do it. But
Okay, so
click on
when I go
Joni's.
click on Joni's from the classroom, there's no attachment assigned. And then when I open it, even if I come here to Joni, there's nothing here.
Okay, so what you could do is you can share the document, like a copy of the document with Joni, and she can add it herself. Because
Okay.
there's an option when you're in Google Classroom to add a document to that assignment.
So would I have to, sorry, Annalisa, would I have to make the copy for her, or I could just?
That would probably be best. Just
Okay.
make a copy for her, and
Okay.
then share that copy with her. And then what she'll do is when she's in her Google Classroom, she will add that document into
Okay.
that because you can add it as a student.
You can upload it as a student, and then it shows up over here like as two things. Or
It'll show up as her file. It'll
Okay.
show up as a file. That
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sorry, there are a few more questions about Ashley, when do you want to know if we're not going to attend the session? We don't necessarily need to know. Again, like Shannon said, it just kind of gives us an idea of to know who's going to be or who do we expect at that session that time. Something comes up, it comes up. It's okay. You don't need to really go and email us or anything. I mean, you're welcome to, but it's not necessarily to say that I'm not going to be at the session. Okay, Alice, yes, please, you can still go ahead and sign up for the live sessions, no problem. And I think Joni will figure that out. We're working on that attachment now. All right, I think that was it. Anything else, feel free to stay online. If not, it is a Wednesday night and we do want to let you go. But thank you again. Feel free to stay on for questions. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Sorry, I do have a personal question for my, so no one has to stay on for this, but
I'll
I am
stop
going on
recording.
maternity leave, possibly September 2nd.